that vertebral column, or what some people call a spine, but it's a vertebral column or an axial skeleton, in fish is the main locomotor skeletal system, right? So on land, we move, not with our hands, but our ancestors moved with hands and legs. We work on our feet. We're so focused on our limbs that we forget that to be a fish just have little fins like this, and those are important for maneuverability, and some fish do swim with those fins, but most fish actually undulate their whole body. So the vertebral column, which runs down the length of the body axis, is incredibly important for the mechanics of the body. All the muscles have to work around that vertebral column. So that's why we focus on that particular skeletal item, is the vertebral column, because it's so important in locomotion. And locomotion is so important for everything that we do. And if you're a fish, you've got to get food. And what vertebrates do, they're predators, right? So they're chasing down their food. And so if you can't chase down your food, you're going hungry, you're extinct. So that's partly why we have been studying the vertebral column. By studying the past, we can understand the current part of life, right? So when we study the origin of the vertebral column, part of what we're doing is understanding what has come into play evolutionarily to give us current body forms in fish and even humans, right? We're all descended from these fish. And so one of the things that we learn that's really important in our studies is that the vertebral column has a springiness to it. And any spring, like the string on a guitar, right? You can change the stiffness of a spring by tuning that, right? So the pitch would go higher, ding, 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 as you crank up the tension on that spring. And so what we see over evolutionary time is that different species have different tunings of their vertebral column. And the joke I never tire of telling is you can tuna fish. Anyway, that's funny in English. To me, anyway. I don't know if it works in Spanish. But so this is really cool, right? That we've got variable mechanical properties. And we get so focused as humans on our brain that we forget about our bodies and how important our bodies are and the mechanics of our bodies. So this is what we begin to learn when we study our origins as mechanical things in the world. So right now what we're working on, we continue to work on fish, but we don't limit ourselves to fish. And so part of what I'm talking about here at the IROS conference is a project where we're actually interested in the role that development plays in allowing life forms to evolve. Right? So in the past, when we've been evolving robots, we take the genome, which is encoded as a strip of numbers, a string of numbers, and we just make the robot, the adult robot, from that. And that ignores the fact that that's not how animals work. Animals have to start off as little things and get bigger over time. And so one of the things we do, inspired by the work that Josh Bongard has done at the University of Vermont, is we're incorporating development into our robots. And so there's the genome, and that genome gets expressed to make things, protein-like things, and then those proteins get assembled. And we're trying to have an explicit developmental process, because in development there are errors. When things are getting put together, mistakes get made. We think the mistakes of development are really important for evolvability of populations, and it's one way to bring in random variation into what life is doing. And life capitalizes on random opportunities. So development is one way to bring random opportunities into life forms. So we're studying that with some of our robotic models right now.